The United States of America bombed Iran this past Saturday, a country that has not been too friendly to us since the 80s and a country that to this day still chants death to America. The US struck 3 Iranian nuclear sites. A B-2 bomber dropped 5 to 6 bunker buster bombs, striking the Fordow nuclear site. 30 Tomahawk missiles were fired against Natanz and Isfahan from US submarines. Now, this was something that we kind of thought was happening any day now. And let me also mention, everyone was saying that Trump didn't want no new wars, this, that, and the other. Well, I have to say with Trump, he was publicly always anti-Iran, all right, for the past decade. I mean, he was making tweets back in 2010, 2011, all right, when Obama was president, saying how Iran should not have nuclear weapons. So you shouldn't really be surprised when Trump, somebody who was publicly against Iran getting nuclear weapons, acts on it. A big question, of course, is just, should this have happened? I personally think yes. Iran, an enemy to our allies, an enemy to us, a country that chants death to America, all right, under Islamic theocracy, should not be having nuclear weapons. They should not be making nuclear weapons. Other countries like North Korea, China, Russia, yes, they're not our friends either, okay? But they already have the process down with the nuclear weapons. They already have nuclear weapons. There are much more powerful countries than, of course, Iran. With Iran, at least we can strike now before they actually get these nuclear weapons. And it's Iran. A lot of their stuff is outdated. Israel was already beating the brakes off them. I really didn't see a problem like what just happened. Flying in a B-2 bomber that Iran didn't even know existed, didn't even know it flew into Iran, drop a few bunker busters, and get out of there. No boots on the ground. That's very important. I have no problem with going after Iran if we don't have no boots on the ground. A regime change, which is also in the conversation lately, would be nice, of course. If the Iranian people want to throw a revolution and take over their Islamic theocracy dictatorship, hey, I'm all for it, but I don't think that we need to get involved, because if we do get involved, the way to actually make that happen and for us to make any type of impact would be to put boots on the ground. That I do not want. I'm sure a lot of Americans out there don't want Iran to have nuclear weapons and are okay with what just happened this past weekend, while at the same time not wanting boots on the ground. I think that's the majority of Americans. I'm exactly like that. What happens next? Well, people are saying that we're at war with Iran now. And technically, yes, okay? If we drop bombs on a country, we're declaring war on them. But it's not really going to be a war, in my opinion. Iran's going to retaliate. I don't think they're going to get very far. I'm not really worried about Iran. Now, of course, you have to be a bit more worried about their allies, Russia, China. I look at Russia, which there has been a lot of talks of them pulling their support from Iran. On top of that, they have their hands tied with Ukraine. Do you really think they're going to be worried that much about Iran? We're not going after Russia's nuclear weapons, just Iran's. And then, of course, there's China. Will China really attack a big customer, the number one customer, like the U.S., over a country like Iran, a little country over Iran, just because we just bombed some of their nuclear facilities? Is China really going to do that? I don't think so. Now, the Iran parliament did vote to close the Strait of Hormuz, which about 20% of our oil comes from, which could be a problem. I'm not worried too much yet. We'll see how that goes. And I'm sure they will do that. If Iran actually wants to retaliate and make a difference and actually hurt America, that would be one of them. Another threat, with of course Biden being in office for 4 years, letting in anybody, could be the sleeper cells. But I trust that Trump, after what he just did, is going to actually boost our security in America now, because of course Iran's going to retaliate. Anybody else and their supporters who are maybe influenced by Iran's ideas, Islam ideas, could retaliate in America. Who knows? I trust that Trump could actually boost security. It would be the right thing to do. Why wouldn't he do that? Iran needs to come to the table and negotiate. Stop building nuclear weapons, all right? Or do it the way that America wants you to do it. End of story. I'm okay with what America did. I'm okay with what Trump did, all right? The only thing I would change what he did is just constantly bringing in Israel to it. Constantly keep tying in Israel with it. Listen, there's a lot of conspiracy theorists out there. A lot of people who are against Jews, who are against Israel, alrighty? And it's sad. Of course, it grew a lot since October 7th with Israel and Palestine. But when you keep doing that, when you keep bringing in Israel, when you keep tying it in, saying God bless Israel in your speech, it's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt your approval rating. It's going to hurt your midterms in 2026. It just is what it is. It's a harsh reality. So try to turn the message from how you've been benefiting Israel as your ally, try to turn it to how it could benefit America, all right, about what you just did. I think he could do that differently, and I think it'd be pretty much perfect. I think he can work on that. I think we'll be all right. But hey, I'm okay with what happened. Let me know down below in the comments. What do you guys think? Make sure to subscribe. I'm out, guys. Peace.